Hi guys, this is Shreya Dakal. I'm here to demo for part 2 assignments. Let's start with my personal detail first. I'll fill in this real quick. This is for my email, my Dakal 7726189 BSc Computer Science. I must record a video. I have read the instruction. I have read to produce the demo. I am skipping this because I already did it, but it didn't show my screen, so I'm doing it again. So I'm not doing for part two. Uh, so I don't need in here. For the link, I have it. Copy link, paste it in here. Commit before 15th. No, because this is my commits and I started on November. So no, at least 5 for both. So for this are for my first five, and this is for my first part, and these are for the second part. So yes, with comments, yes. Commits throughout the 20 commits, no. Now let's start with the test here. So let me begin with it. No, not TGY, the test. So Renault test. These are the 10 tests I had, and these are all running. These are for the circle class, draw to class. These are to test if the shape is valid. This is for rectangle, triangle. This is for to clear. We use the clear command to see if it works. So this is for the color test. This is for the fill test. Color we use color for filling. So yeah, this is for the move to test to move the pen, and this is var test to test for the variable. We are using variable in this part. We are working with variable, and this is the test for it. So yeah, these are the test, and it's all running. So yeah, so now let's start with the implementation. For the implementation, yeah, this is my GUI I have, uh, and this is the variables. So variables declared. So let's declare the variable and see if it runs. Yeah, it did run. So these, yes, some sort of loop. So let's see. Now open. I already have some in here, so let me run it. So this is the loop happening here. So how is it working? We have used a variable var I and var j. These are the two variables, and a while loop. So it checks the condition. If var if the while is less than 3, and the variable is set to 1, it checks the condition. And if this is if this I divided by 3 is not equals to 1, then this happens. It stop there. It end the loop that's happening. And if it's again, if it's the to 0, it again ends the loop. So it start with while loop. These are two while loops we have to checking for the two variables, and here we end the while loop. So in the code, it's happening in the form1 class. Form1 class, there is loop and loop for while and end while. This is the loop list we have created this as an array. So I is the variable used for it, and in the end while. So yeah, it checks for the loop index. So it goes on and check for every for string command parse text box line loop list loop index trim split splitter too. So it command parse, it checks for the length, and in this condition parse parameter it checks for the condition, and it directs towards a logic parser in the logic parser class. mm, Logic parser class, it goes and check for the condition, which is a mathematical error. So if it's equals to or not equals to or less than, so it checks for this condition, and if it does match the condition, so is the switch case as well, it checks for the first condition, and it's not matching with the first condition, it checks for the second condition. So after checking this condition, and if the loop is going right, then it creates a loop, and if it's not, then it ends the loop there. So this is how our loop is working. So yes, loop, yeah, demonstrated this expression such as this. Let's see. Open file. So we have said count 1, count into 10, circle size, yes, run. This is running, but it's not forming a concentric circle. So I'm gonna go for no on this, yeah. And if statement works for one line. So let's start if the let's see if one line if statement works. So here's a one line if statement. It checks for one variable, it goes for the color, and if the variable is right, then it creates the shape. So let's start. Yeah, it did create the shape, and it did check for the condition. So it's happening. So there's also if and end if. So I'll show you the if and if and go for the uh, at once. So it's happening in here again. How is it happening? There's if condition used. So if I divide it by 3 because the condition is 3 is 0, then end if it ends here. So here's the if and end if happening. Here's the if and if command being used. So in the code, if and if is here. So if the command is this, it goes and run the program. False, the run program false, and it runs the program false if the logic parser does not pass the condition, and and there's an end if in here. It continues. So so when the a logic parser does not uh, fit in with the condition, that condition we had in the logic parser about the different conditions, that's this equals to, not equals to, less than, more than. So if it doesn't fit the condition, then it ends in there. So it also works with uh, parse. No, this is for the second one. Mm, yeah, yeah. So yeah, this is where if and else if are working. Syntax checking, no, there's nothing for syntax error. Methods has been defined and called, but it's not working, so no. Implementation of flashing colors for so let's go with it. Let's see if it does work or if it doesn't work. So that's the thread I have saved as. So let's start. First let me clear this up and run again. Yeah, so these are flashing colors here. It's flashing different colors. How is this happening? This is happening in the circle class. So okay, it's happening if it's flash. So if the flash is happening, it's going with the if, and if checks the command, else there's a solid brush going, the solid brush color fill in will happen if there's no flash in it. So what's the how is it happening? It's like there are red green, blue yellow, and black white. So these are the colors that are supposed to, that are the case that it checks in here. It does check the color, and it does it creates a new thread, and it starts the flashing with the different colors. And so it's happening because it's in here. So it's working from the side. If the color is this, because there's a different case, there's a case, if the color case is this one, then it flashes, it creates a thread and it flashes with these two different color in a fraction of seconds. So that's how it's happening in there. So this is done, design and implementation for the factory. So let's go to the, let me end this first. Let's see and go, let's go and see in the factory class. This is what's happening in my factory class. This factory control the shape of object to be created. So yeah, this is where it's happening. And in the interface, this is my interface. This is the parameters that have been set on. And yeah, so that's my uh, code for it. Additional design pattern, no, there's no additional design pattern in my code. So no use of exception handling. For exception handling, I have been using is a try catch. So it's in the parser comma, it's not in the parser, okay, it's in the form. So there's the try catch. So try and catch have been used, and if there's an error in it, then it's been displayed through the message box, the pop-in message box. So let me show you how it's happening in the code. Okay, yeah. So I have used try and catch in different classes, and according to the thread it's generating, it it creates an error. So this is the error that has been thrown, or the exceptions that had are been handled with the message box display. So yeah, XML comments. Yes, XML comments. So these three lines, these are the XML comments. These are used to create the XML file. So these are the XML comments. So yes, I do have my XML comments for classes and methods. XML documentation produced. Yes, this is the XML documentation that has been produced. So yeah, it's in here. And yeah, additional functionalities no, any comments no. So I'm gonna submit this now and see. Yeah, next time I'm gonna submit this, and thank you.